Well, viewers, at the top of this hour, Bengaluru and several other parts of Karnataka is bracing itself for scheduled power disruptions over the next 10 days. This was announced by the Bangalore Electricity Supply Company and the Karnataka Power Transmission Corporation Limited. Now, these interruptions are being done to take up maintenance projects. Structural enhancements also are scheduled. There's also line maintenance that's going to be done, cable reallocation from overhead to underground, maintenance of ring main units. There's going to be tree pruning, water supply improvements, jump tightening, pole replacements, and various other works that's going to be carried out. But essentially here, anticipated power outages are primarily scheduled between 10 a.m. and 5 p.m. Now, though efforts will be made to complete the work ahead of time wherever feasible, not just Bengaluru, even areas like Davangere, Tumkuru, Channagiri and other places could be facing power outages is the information that we are getting. Now, remember, just yesterday, the Karnataka government has also claimed that the state is grappling with a power shortage. Now, they've attributed this to a combination of factors. This includes inadequate monsoon on one hand, surge of demand for power on the other. Now, the last 2 days have also seen power cuts in the state. Now, as a measure to address the issue, the state government will be getting into a power swap agreement is the information that we're also picking up. This is going to be with Uttar Pradesh and Punjab. Meanwhile, they're also hoping that the center intervenes, that they give some sort of relief by supplying more coal to the state of Karnataka. Mr. D.K. Shivkumar, the Deputy Chief Minister, has also said that it is because of drought in almost 200 villages that there is a power shortage at this point in time. He has also said that the government is ready to cooperate if the center here agrees to provide additional power to the state. First, let's listen in to the reaction coming in from Mr. D.K. Shivkumar.
When I was the power minister, I added more than 12,000 megawatt of power. When BJP regime was there, they did not plan to add any power. Normally, there will be a 10 to 15% growth every year. They just sold the power, that's all. Now there is lot of drought. Almost 200 taluks are in drought and people are finding very difficult. See, to generate power, you need lot of water, number one. Number two, coal issue is there. But still we want to help the farmers. But we are trying to, my honorable minister met the power minister to see that you give some power from the central grid. I think if they help, we are ready to cooperate with them.
Well, let's open this up and really discuss whether this is an issue that's going to be problematic for the citizens of Karnataka in the coming days. We have Dr. Sudha Halkai from the BJP who is with us, Nizam Faujdar, spokesperson and General Secretary of KPCC, Vijay Grover, senior journalist with us. I'm going to take this across firstly to Mr. Faujdar. I'd like to know here because on one hand you're doing maintenance work, on the other there are farmers in some areas who are protesting, saying we're not getting enough, power supply for our irrigation purposes. The energy minister is in Delhi. He's meeting, multiple union ministers and hoping that the center intervenes. The deputy chief minister says that the union government should come to the help. Where exactly is the lacuna here? And more importantly, now while you're taking up maintenance work, you're going to have power outages. There's already, load shedding that's happening, and we've seen multiple pictures come in. In fact, one at a Congress press conference, the other at the DC's office, where people are going through files in the daytime because it's a dimly lit room using torchlights from the mobile phone. So this is a very difficult situation. How is the Congress looking to handle this in the coming days?
I like the way you put it across, how Congress is going to take care of the situation and how it's going to resolve it. I really like the way you asked that question. Let's understand that this is one of the rarest of rare situations where we had an extremely poor monsoon and where our hydropowers units have not been able to function the way it had normally functioned in the past few years. Let me also tell you, in the last Siddaramaiah government, the amount of upgradation and the addition of the the power generation that we did has been a monumental achievement. At the same time, in the last 5 years, if Miss Sudha who is as the BJP spokesperson who's going to represent in this debate, should tell us what did they do in the last 5 years in terms of upgrading the production of the power. At the same time, let me also tell you that Karnataka has always been a power surplus state. And in a situation like this, we will have some temporary hitches and glitches. At the same time, we have asked the central government to share some power with us on an emergency levels and give more, at least 4 more rakes of about coal to the state so that we are able to produce more power. At the same time, also help the other states which are reeling under the situation which is as good as us or as bad as us. So we are looking at bringing in a lot of resources from the other states where we have been sharing power. They have agreed to do that, and in the next couple of days or maybe another 3 days, the thing should become more normal. We understand because there is no rain, there is no, the catchment areas have not received enough rain. The power, the pump sets in the agricultural area have been pumping more water from the the underground water. And because of that, the demand for the power has risen. And that's why we are facing some bit of the hitches and the glitches here and there. So I think in the coming days, we should be able to normalize this.
Okay, Mr. Fawzar, I agree on a couple of points that you mentioned, that there is, of course, a deficit of rainfall that is leading to your, power supply, or rather production itself, going down. But the only people that I could ask this question right now is the current government, and that is the Congress. So I'll have to really put that question to you as to how you're going to deal with this. Now, another issue, or rather a question that I would like to pose here is, when it came to the procurement of rice, we saw somewhere a tug-of-war between the center and the state. Well, you wrote to the center asking for rice, and they had another reason to give. Is that going to become a similar situation? Because at the end of the day, the people of Karnataka are the ones who will probably bear the brunt if there's going to be, this sort of a power outage or load shedding that's going to continue because of the shortage. Now, whatever the reason for the shortage, we can't probably go back in time and, now in retrospect, only blame the BJP for not doing it, because right now this issue needs to be addressed. So is it going to continue to be a tug-of-war between the center and the state?
No, I really appreciate the way you put the whole situation in a few words here. Deepak, your predictability has become, is absolutely correct. You are able to predict what's going to happen between the state government and the central government. Today we have a central government which wants to use every calamity, every bad situation in terms to show the other party or the other government, which is not a BJP government, in bad light. So I'm sure Mr. Modi, KK, I think it's Mr. KK who is the RK, who is the power minister at the center, will delay in terms of giving some relief to the Karnataka to show that we are the ones who are providing power, we are the ones who is saving Karnataka, we are the ones who is providing power to every man, every house, every farm in terms of agriculture. We are providing power to you. It's not the Karnataka government, nor it's not the Congress government. Your prediction is absolutely right. We said we will give 10 kilos of rice to every person who is below the poverty line, and central government, in place of having another, the stock for the next 2 years of rice, they denied to give us. The rice is basically rotting in the Food Corporation of India's godowns, but they are not willing to give that rice to the poor to eat. And in the similar way, they will expect some of the standing crop to dry up, so to show the Congress government in bad light, and will not give us the power from the central grid. Mark my words, the central government will play this bad card to show that we are the ones who are going to provide you and save you from this kind of a calamity. And your prediction is right. And Ms. Sudha has to answer why the central government is not giving us extra coal to use, to produce more from the thermal power plants, and why they are giving us the wet coal, which is possibly because of the many reasons why there's a lot of rain in the Maharashtra region, the Nagpur region.
Okay, let me take this across to the BJP then, immediately, because a couple of questions were posed by you through some of the statements that you made. So, Sudha, you'll have to respond here. Firstly, of course, they're saying that they've already sought the centre's help. What's the position from there? And more importantly, he also pointed out that during your time, and Mr. D.K. Shivkumar said that too, that the BJP didn't do anything to enhance, power generation in the state of Karnataka.
Deepak, let me answer to Mr. Nizam. Mr. Nizam, you told that these are the small hitches and glitches, okay? And for you, it might be, for you and your party, it might be small hitches and glitches. But for the people of Karnataka, for the farmers and every citizen of Karnataka, today it is a question of life and death. First thing. And second thing, it is not only the question of power,
What
it is
would
a
you
question
do
of
if you were
water,
in the
it is a
government,
question of
Miss
rice.
Sudha? Tell me, what would you do
No, when
if
you
you
were
were in
speaking,
government now?
I didn't interrupt, Mr. Nizam. I'm eagerly waiting to answer all your questions. So allow me to answer it. I'll come up to every question of yours. Okay, every question of yours will be answered. Okay, and you are telling about the center. Everything you people act like a crybaby and put all the
Don't
allegations
tell
on
Mr.
the
Nehru is
central government,
responsible for
keeping the gun
this.
on the shoulder of the central government. And no, please stop. Let me answer it. Why didn't at that you knew very well the drought is there in Karnataka, there was a shortage of rainfall, then why didn't you upheld the interest of the farmers, and why didn't you put all an affidavit in front of the Kaveri Water Management Board and in front of the Supreme Court? Second thing, you are given the scheme for the electricity. So after that instant, immediately what you have done, you have increased the tariff to almost more than 50%. You have looted the taxpayers of
Let's
Karnataka
stick to this
today.
issue of
Are you
power
aware
shortage
of it?
here, Sudha. Let's
Yeah,
not go
power
into
shortage only I'm
Kaveri.
telling.
Let's not
Okay,
go
fine.
into
Deepak, let me come back to
other
the point.
aspects here
Let
which
me come
They
back
will
to the
not
find no
point.
answer the
relevance.
question, Deepak.
There are 34 water pumps. There
Hold
are
on,
34
hold on,
water
Mr.
They will never
Fawzar.
answer
Let
the
her
in
continue.
question.
Karnataka used by the farmers. Are they being the farmers are sitting idle without any water because of the rain, and now they're doing the cut short of the electricity, and they say it is maintenance. Was it necessary for them to go for the maintenance now? And in the night they're giving the power, so that the farmers risk their life and they go to the fields and they're risking their life. There are so many animals over there, so many things are there. Snakes will be there. Absolutely, they're risking their life and they're going into the fields because it's a question of their bread and butter. What sort of situation they're getting in Karnataka? And for everything they blame. And why aren't they having the money to take the coal or the other thing, the electricity from the center? Where has all the money gone? Why have they used the STSC funds for the freebies? Who asked them to give the freebies? On the name of freebies, they have looted the people of Karnataka and they have given the free empty pots and the empty fields to the farmers. This is the sixth freebie what they're giving. Rice, they're giving only 5 kgs and they tell that the central government is not giving.
Okay.
For everything, they blame the central government.
I'll bring in Mr. Grover here.
Understood.
Mr. Grover, we've heard the two political parties go at each other.
And
how are you viewing this situation as a citizen and also as a journalist? How does the government really handle the situation? And is it really going to impact the people? Has it already begun impacting people on the ground?
Well, Deepak, this is something, very unfortunate that the political parties start the blame game moment there is a crisis, instead of joining hands and helping the people. This is something which is a big concern, and that's something where, the people are now trying to understand whether the political parties mean serious interest of the voter or the public actually at heart. Coming to the issue of, this planned maintenance, which is being so called, I think so it is just to, prevent the demand which is now expected, because we are now close to the festive season where the power demand rises. Industry needs power, farmers need power, and these outages are only going to put the state back. That is something which is a concern, and there should have a solution. And coming to the fact that we were anticipating this drought not from today, maybe for about 1.5 months back when the monsoon failed. And at that time itself, I'm surprised that with the Chhattisgarh state, which is having the maximum power surplus, why no power purchase agreement was made then to ensure that we do not face this kind of a crisis where there's a blame game between the center and the state. Now with the elections having been announced over there, I don't know if it will be feasible to get power from there, but this was something which was very much in control with both Congress in Karnataka and Chhattisgarh. They could have definitely done it. Now, I'm sure, Deepak, you also remember the fact that, 6 years back, when there was a massive breakdown of the Raichur thermal plant, the kind of crisis that the entire state faced. God forbid, if there's anything like that which happens now, what could be the fate of the state? That is something which is a big concern because there's no planning. And, with everybody knowing that there is a 10% increase in power, and especially when we're recovering after COVID, there should have been this anticipation and energy capacities should have been showed up. We only remember the crisis or, the solutions when there's a crisis on hand. We've been talking about solar, we've been talking about wind, but there's no substantial expansion that we have seen in any of these sectors in the last couple of years. And that is something, Pavgada was one example,
Okay.
but unfortunately, we've not seen any massive expansion in the last 7-8 years beyond Pavgada. So clearly, this is something where, once again, it's a man-made crisis. You can blame the political parties for, tossing the things around. But certainly the people of the state deserve better attention, more energy, better water, better infrastructure. And that is something not just the people, the industry and the farmers, everybody expects that. And, no point in having this blame game between the two parties. But clearly, this has to stop and people's interest has to be kept in front. And all the parties should, actually work towards finding solution.
Okay, Mr. Fauzdar, I'd also like to know how you want to address, problems that are right now emanating in various parts. Chamarajnagar, for example, there are farmer associations who are staging a protest, and I believe that they're sitting on an indefinite dharna. This is against SESCOM officials, and this is outside the Deputy Commissioner's office in Chamarajnagar. And they're saying that, the standing crops at this point don't have water. There's no electricity that's being provided for the pump sets. So it is a big problem. They're already facing problems. You yourself mentioned there's deficit rainfall, so the farmers have that concern. So the alternate option is wherever they have reserve water to pump it, use sprinklers onto the crops. And if that option also is being taken away from them, it's almost as if you're taking away their livelihood. So this needs to be addressed at the earliest. So what are the steps that's really being taken by the government?
Deepak, was that question to me?
Yes.
Deepak, see, I think we have requested Chhattisgarh, as Mr. Vijay Grover said, we have not planned it. But I would just like to make a correction. We have approached Telangana, we have approached we have approached Uttar Pradesh, we have approached Orissa, we have approached a lot of governments. We have, in fact, the question today is, when you ask the same question to Sudhaji, she said, you are giving freebies, you're taking away the corpus fund from the treasury of the government. But when Pradhan Mantri says मैं 80 करोड़ लोगों को खाना खिलाता हूं, तो ये बात कहां जाती है? We need to ask this question: why this anti-poor kind of a sentiment that the BJP carries all the time? Is it that one man they want to serve and not the 140 crore people of this country? We need to ask these questions to these people. When a poor man eats a full stomach and sleeps in the night, and the children who are under his roof, and they have a good meal and sleep, is that bad to this country? Is this bad to the sentiments of these people? Is it not good that we are giving a proper life to those people? Is this not what BJP wants? Why are they so poor, anti-poor kind of policies that these people are propagating every day? But when we are coming back to the power situation, right? Let me tell you, when the BESCOM started in 1970, we had a 746 megawatt kind of a capacity. Till 2019, we expanded that to about 11,336 kind of a mega power kind of a, that's the situation. We bought the state, and when the BJP stole the power, जो मैं कहता हूं कि उधार का सिंदूर इन्होंने लेकर 4 साल सरकार चलाई थी, in that 4 years, what did these people do to enhance the power capacity in Karnataka? They have no answer to it. They took 3 lakh crores of loan, which the Karnataka government had accumulated 2 lakh 25,000 lakh crores of debt in the last 70 years. These people took 3 lakh crores of debt in the last 3 years. Where did that money go? The BJP has to answer these questions and not ask these questions to us. We are in the power for the last 3 months. We are making everything possible to bring back this state from a bad economic situation to a surplus economic situation. And we are committed to that. We are committed that every child in this state is educated. We are committed that every poor man who is below the poverty line has a stomach full of a meal on a daily basis. We are committed to bring employment to every person in the state. In fact, Karnataka was a surplus in terms of employment. People from all over the country used to come to Bangalore to seek employment, and that had become a problem. We are setting right things in the state.
Again,
we
are deviating too much away from the crux issue. I asked you one, problem that in Chamarajanagar as a region, people were facing. So, what is the immediate solution to them?
Deepak ji, let me complete. Give me a second. We are committed, Mr. Sidramaya, Mr. D.K. Shivkumar, who is the DCM, and the Power Minister, who is K.J. George. We are making everything possible to make sure this power crisis is taken care of in the next couple of days or 3 days max to max. Things will become normal. People will not have to go through this kind of a problem. But at the end of the day, the BJP should not blame us for their mistakes and say that we are not doing anything. We are taking care of the state. Ma'am, Sudhaji, आपको मैं बोलना चाहूंगा, you don't have to worry. We are taking care of the state.
Okay, and a quick one to add to that, so that I can take this next to Sudha as well. Mr. Fauzdar, now when you're saying your alternate options are approaching neighboring states, this is going to cost you, isn't it?
Give everything possible to the state of
Karnataka. I need to speak now.
Yes, sir.
The state doesn't have surplus.
Okay, I'll bring in Sudha and I'll come back to you, Mr. Fauzdar. Okay, Sudha, go ahead.
Yeah, Mr. Nizam, it's high time you Congress people learn from the administration and governance of our Honorable Prime Minister, Mr. Narendra Modi ji. The way he is handling the situation, the way he is taken up our country in spite of your worst governance of the past 60 years of Congress. Okay, one thing. Second thing is today every country outside India is appreciating the way he's looking after his country, taking digital transactions, giving the essential things to the poorest of the poor people, especially the women, taking the construction of the toilets and giving the gas connections to them, providing them with food, giving them employment, making them self-employed and everything. Today, don't talk about Mr. Narendra Modi ji. You people can't even think what he is doing. Okay, it takes you another decade or more than that to think even one scheme what he has done.
Okay, this debate isn't about the Prime Minister. Let's again come back and stick to the topic.
She is bringing Prime Minister, a failed Prime Minister into this
debate.
debate.
Against the management of our state.
A failed Prime Minister in the history of
Okay, Mr. Fauzdar, a quick question here. When you are looking at options of approaching other states, is that not going to again cost the state exchequer? Again, it boils down to, funds.
Mr. Grover has said about the blame game. We never played the Congress government. We have
Deepak ji, we are looking at an exchange program. We will exchange power when we will provide the extra power to those states when we have surplus. And these agreements have always been there. We will make sure we will provide the extra power to the states who will help us now into the monsoon time or the autumn time. And there are times that we need to support them. We will support them. We will have an exchange. Don't worry about that. We will take care. हम जुमला नहीं फेंकते हैं. हम काम करते हैं. We show that work. We are committed to do those promises and will fulfill that. Power will be given. Power will be taken care of. The BJP has to simply sit back and serve the people. At least have the mentality to serve the people. Simply blaming Nehru ji, Indira Gandhi ji, Rajiv Gandhi ji, Manmohan Singh ji. आपके प्रधानमंत्री तो सबसे बड़े failure हैं in the last 10 years. Please answer why you are not working for the people. We will take care of it. What we have promised, we have delivered 4 promises.
Okay.
We will deliver
the assurance from the Congress right now is the people of Karnataka will not be burdened. The farmers need not worry. It is being resolved in the next couple of days. There will be enough supply of electricity. Let's hope that is reality and we don't have to come back and debate this and the citizens are affected in the next few days. And I thank Mr. Grover, also Sudha for joining us. And of course, we'll, like I mentioned, Mr. Fauzdar, you have made an assurance that the people won't be affected, and let's hope that we don't have to open a call-in show in the next couple of days. And
Exactly.
let's
We are
hope that this
making so
issue is
many,
resolved at the earliest.
debates
I'm going to
on
slip
all
into a very
issues.
quick break on that note, thanking all our panelists. On the other side, some